So I'm finally back and I'm ready to share my reading goals and plans for 2021. Hi guys, my name is Ezra and welcome back to my channel. You might have noticed that I haven't been posting for the last maybe a couple weeks. So something happened. I actually got sick at the end of 2020. So that was around the time of New Year's Eve. And then it kind of carried over to the first week of January. So I just decided to take the week off. So that's where we are at this time. I actually filmed this video in December, and because of things that happened, I decided to scrap it and do a new one instead. And as you can see, we don't have our decorations anymore. I took them out. And I'm probably going to go back to the other room and do most of my filming there moving forward. But anyway, this is what happened. I got sick. I actually have a few more videos that I filmed during the holidays that I haven't even edited yet. So you are going to see that later on. So yeah, we're still celebrating Christmas in 2021, January 2021. Also, being the noob that I am, I went in a deleting spree and I there's one video that I deleted the last, I would say 5 to 10 minutes of. So yeah, I have to refilm that. You'll know what that video is when I post it. So anyway, this is a welcome back video for me. And also not a resolution, because I really hate resolutions and I always don't follow through with these resolutions. So it's not, so I don't want to call it resolutions. So anyway, this video is going to show you my reading goals, my Booktube and Bookstagram goals, and maybe a little bit of my blogging goals. I haven't actually touched my blog in a while. So anyway, I'm going to divide this into two. First part will be on my reading goals, and the second part will be my Booktube/Bookstagram goals. So this video is going to be a little bit vague, and I intentionally made it vague because I want to set goals that I actually can achieve. And based on my personality and from all the years that I've set goals and expectations for myself, I usually don't follow through. So it's a little bit disappointing and I always get disappointed, but that's okay. I already know that I'm a little bit set in my ways. So anyway, I've kind of learned to set realistic goals for myself. I know I've looked at a lot of booktuber goals, reading goals, life goals, and all that jazz. They are amazing. They're able to do that. I personally can't. It's really hard for me to do that. So mine is going to be vague so that, I know I can achieve them at the end of the year. And then, we'll revisit this video next year. So there are going to be a few things that actually contribute to my goals and how I'm setting my goals. So as an FYI to everybody, I work full time. So that means 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. And at this point, because of the pandemic, I am working from home. So it's a little bit easier, but prior to pandemic, I used to commute to work. So the commute part actually takes out of my reading time because I love to read. Well, I love to listen to audiobooks while driving. So with that said, I've kind of had to restructure my reading based on my current situation right now. So the second one is also that I'm a slow reader. So audiobooks has really helped me read faster, but I'm also an audiobook listener that is not a fan of speeding up my audiobooks. And I no shade to those who speed up their audiobooks, but I personally can't. I guess it might be related to, well, English is not my first language. And also, I really love to listen to accents. And I really like to listen to feelings that the audiobook narrator injects into the audiobook. So I think for the most part, I usually speed up to 1.2 or 1.5, depending on the tone. I mean, not tone, but depending on the pacing of the narrator. So I normally don't speed it up. But because I can multitask while listening to audiobooks, it actually makes me read faster. Now, another caveat here is that because I work from home, my work also does not allow me to listen to audiobooks while working. So unfortunately, I can't listen to audiobooks and work at the same time. So that also cuts down my reading. So especially when I'm reading ebooks or physical books, I'm really, really slow. I usually get to like one, at most 2 books in a week if I'm really intentionally reading. So that's things to keep in mind. And then the next one is that this is a one-woman show. So that means I film, write, edit everything myself. Then that also brings me to Bookstagram. I also do that myself. I edit my photos myself. I edit my videos myself. I basically do everything myself, which is also what a lot of us are doing. But with that in mind, since I work full time, I can only do everything on the weekends and in the evenings or like after work. Another thing too that I'm trying to get better on is that when I edit, I try to really take out a lot of dead space. I edit out a lot of things, especially my ums. If you've noticed that, I say that a lot, and I try to edit them out. I've noticed that a lot of booktubers don't do that. They leave dead space. They even repeat the words. They don't edit things out, and maybe I'm a little too critical. I'm just critical of myself, so I do edit them out. I'll try to not do that, and now that I've said that I say all the time, I notice that even more. So that's another thing that I need to be very mindful of. Just leave them in. Also, I do retakes of things, because sometimes when what I'm saying doesn't really come out right, I have to redo them. So that kind of adds more editing time for me. So, that's something that I'll try to make sure that I won't do. Also, another thing, I don't necessarily write scripts for every video, but I do try to write down outlines. And this is because there are just some things that it's hard for me to express that I really need to write things out. So there is one video that I've been editing for like over a month now. Because it's a tough video. I hope to get it out soon, and I filmed it during the holidays. I actually filmed it twice, and anyway, I'll explain about that when I post the video. But I don't really write a script, but I also need to plan things and like write bullet points so I don't forget. All right, so now let's start with my reading goals. I made it really simple. And my major reading goal for this year is actually to relax. And I intentionally set my reading goal on Goodreads to 1, which as I'm filming this, I already met. And I think it's because I just don't want to be like, oh my God, I need to catch up. I need to read X amount of books so that I can meet my goal. So I intentionally just made it to 1. And of course, knowing that I definitely will be reading more than one book this year. So I set it to 1. And basically my thing is I'm going to relax, try not to request a lot of advanced reader copies or ARCs, because, with arcs, you do have to review them, read them and review them before or at least close to publication. And you have to have your review out on pub week or at least a week after. So I kind of don't want to be limited in that because I have a lot of things going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to request a lot of arcs specifically because of that. Next is read diversely. So in December, I promised myself that I was going to read a lot of own voices books, especially books written by Filipino authors. And I definitely failed that. Hands down, I failed that in December. And of course, December was an odd thing. In December, I actually got in this weird slump thing, and no matter how much I tried to read, and I had I had a TBR set up, I had a list of books that I wanted to read, and it just did not happen. So unfortunately, I failed that. So this year I'll try not to be as rigid, and I'll just try to let things let my mood set my tone. And again, I'm a super mood reader, so it's also hard for me to set TBRs. So that's another thing that I've noticed is that when I set a TBR, I usually don't follow through. It's really hard for me to be on schedule, be on track. So I decided to get rid of TBRs at this point. I'll probably have like a few books that I want to read, but as to setting like a TBR, it's going to be hard for me personally. So yeah, which again leads to my next goal, which is to read outside my comfort zone. Last year was a delight to me. I started reading a lot of dark romances. I started to read just a lot of different types of genres here and there, and I actually figured out that I liked it. So this year I'm going to just read books that I normally don't read. And also one of the things that I miss reading is historical romance. In the last maybe 2-3 years, I haven't read historical romance as much as I wanted to. So I'll try to read more historicals, but also, explore other genres. I need to read more genres, and I'm actually pretty okay. Like, I don't discriminate in a genre. I'll at least try a genre at least once. Next is review books. So this has been going on for like a couple years, and I've been better, but it's not great. So what I want to do now is to review books. So it can be 1 or 2 sentences on Goodreads, but I also want to bring that into this channel and review books on this channel as well. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. So I know there are not a lot of book reviews specifically posted for romance channels. I actually have not seen a lot. I've only seen maybe a few. And I think it's because reviews, especially if if you do negative reviews, it just it may drive the wrong audience, and you might get tomatoed. So I think maybe that's why. So I'm also a reader that will review books. I've actually posted negative reviews on my blog, and it's a variety of reviews. So I do have a variety of reviews on my blog. It's not just all positive reviews. In fact, one of my favorite reviews that I've ever written was a negative review of a very popular book, a very popular romance book, and it was actually a DNF review. But it's one of my favorite reviews because I think I articulated the reasons why I DNF'd it, and the reasons why I was a little bit disappointed in the book, and the reasons why I DNF'd it. So yeah, I do want to do that and probably bring that over on this channel as well. I'll try to do that, not for all of the books that I've read, but maybe for the ones that I really have extreme feelings for. All right, so that ends my reading goals. Again, I said I was going to be very vague, not having a lot of numbers, because I want to not really hold myself accountable, but at least meet some of these goals, you know. All right. So next will be my Booktube / Bookstagram goals. So my very first goal would be to post regularly. So with doing this one, I plan to do a schedule. So again, reading, Bookstagram, Booktube, those are hobbies for me. This is not going to be a life-changing event and I'm going to quit my job and do this full time. So I can't do that. I really can't do that. So, I will post as regularly as I can within the context of my work and life and everything. So I plan to set a schedule. So my initial goal is to post at least once a week. So I've also learned through blogging, you know, for years, that even if I set a schedule, I wasn't really very rigid on myself. And if I can't post on that day, that's fine. I won't force myself to post something if I don't have any content or if I don't have anything to post. So I'm planning to move that over here. So my plan is to post every week, at least once a week, but I don't know when. And so I guess it depends on when I'm finished editing something. I haven't figured out what day of the week that would be. So once I get into the hang of it and once I have like probably in the next 2 months, like a schedule or the flow, I'll know when I can post regularly. So let's say if Wednesday is the day that I get everything up and I do that multiple times a week, then that will be it. It will be every Wednesday. So again, I'll be at least once a week, at most twice a week. So if I'm very productive at that point and I have multiple videos, then I'll spread it out, because the thing that really wrecked me in the last couple weeks is that I wasn't even finished editing all my videos and I didn't have anything to post. So it was all dead space. And one of my friends actually mentioned that to me and they were like, where are your videos? So this is why. The second plan that I have for my Booktube specifically is to post more discussion videos. Now, I don't know what my discussion topics are going to be, so if you have ideas, you can leave that in the description box below, and hopefully I'll have thoughts and then we can discuss. But one of the things that I really loved to do on my blog was to do discussions, and I would always do that on a Monday. But again, blogging is easier. I mean, it's quicker it's a quicker turnaround time to write and then format my post and then post it on Mondays. So that was one of the things that I really loved, and I really want to bring that over here. And also another thing that I noticed from the last 3 months of the year is that I haven't really been tracking a lot of my reading. So what I mean is I haven't really tracked the tropes. I haven't tracked all of these things. So it's hard for me to come up with a list, like a recommendation list. And that's one of the most popular, actually it's one of the most favorite videos that I love to watch. It's the 10 books, or like 10 friends to lovers books, 10 enemies to lovers books, 10 alpha book, or 10 favorite dark romances books. So that's something that I want to do in the future, but I've also realized that I haven't really tracked these things. So they'll probably come later on when I have a significant number. Now, for the basic tropes, I do have an idea of what to, I do have book ideas because I do have like favorite tropes. So maybe I'll start with that first and then move on to tracking some of these things. Now, the next one is to improve my content. And again, related to everything that I've said, sometimes I ramble too much. And another thing is the editing. So I've noticed that most of my videos are over 30 minutes. So I noticed that I tend to over-explain things. And I also noticed that when I tell you what the plot of the book is, I go way crazy. So I'm planning to make things really short and concise, especially when I'm doing wrap ups and hauls, because I've noticed that even though they are the most fun videos to do for me and to edit, they tend to be very long because I talk too much. So yeah. Then the very last one is to connect with more romance readers. So this is on Booktube and Bookstagram. So I kind of have a group of people that I communicate with often on Bookstagram. And for Booktube, I do have a few too, and kind of these groups overlap with each other. So I'll try to do that, try to be more active in the community, because I'm well, I don't think I am that active. I mean, I'm actively posting, but I'm not actively participating, if that makes sense. Like, I want to join more readathons. I want to join more reading challenges, like group reading challenges. And actually, I am hosting the Side Changeling read along or readathon with a group of people. So that's one way that I think I'm doing a good job. I think, yeah. I mean, we're still in January, but I think that's like one of the things that I really want to do is to join, participate, and like be more present in the community. I am more active on Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram. You can, my DMs are open. For Bookstagram, I kind of have everything, I think, well in hand, because I do take photos on the weekends. I really rely on natural light for photos. So I really do take photos, a bunch of photos during the weekend, and then post them throughout the week. And while I don't post every day, I do post regularly over there. Only thing that I do like that I would want to do on my Bookstagram is to write more reviews on there, because I don't think I do as much. And because, I mean, previously I did have a blog where all my reviews are. Now, I don't know what the future of my blog will be. I've had this book blog since 2012, but I've been blogging since like GeoCities time, like 1997, 98. So it's hard for me to break up with blogging. So I'll probably still have my blog up, but right now I haven't updated it in like a couple months or something. So obviously I know I can't do everything. So I'm trying to see where I can focus more of my attention and my energy, because again, I just can't, I can't, because I have to do all of these things after work. And another thing too is, my husband is also off on Sundays. So usually Sundays is like the time where both of us are together, so we usually do chores, or we just watch a movie, watch a series that we've been watching. And so that's Sunday is kind of like a non-ish reading day / non-ish editing day. And Saturday, he works on Saturday, so Saturday is my me time, and I try to do all the bookish things I can possibly do on Saturday. Those are my kind of not goals that I'll try to achieve in 2021. So yeah, hopefully this will be a good thing for me, right? Anyway, have you set your goals yet? Do you have any reading goals? Do you have any content goals, or like Booktube or Bookstagram, if you do both, or if you do one or the other? Do you have any goals for that? Leave them in my description box below. And of course, you can direct me to your own video. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in another video.